Become a reality.
You're not going to kill my image.
My name is Okoro Blessing Nkiruka, and I'm popularly known as Blessing CEO, your #1 certified relationship therapist in Africa. Now that I have your attention, I want to tell you the true story that happened 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was humiliated on the internet, paraded with cuffs, and humiliated and embarrassed. A lot of people have been wondering, Blessing, what happened? There have been lots of stories, contradictory stories, both lies mixed with truth. So, this is exactly what happened. I'm a young girl who is passionate about owning everything that she desired. I always wanted to own a personal house of my own. I bought a land 5 years ago and started building gradually. You know, one stone to one stone, 2 stones to 2 stones. I wanted to have a house of my own. Now, on my 30th birthday, I had never celebrated my birthday before, so I wanted something that was going to be loud. You know, the Instagram, social media, loud kind of noise. So I was looking for something that was going to go viral. So here was just me passing through a house. I saw a very beautiful house. To be very honest, the motive at that point was not even to take pictures. It was just a beautiful house. I saw this stone tiles. What took me to Onyeze's house is this stone tiles. It was a building under construction, so the gate was open. I quickly walked into the place and I was like, who put this stone? How do I get this stone tiles? The person managing the building came out and told me, I know you. I said, from where? He said, I know your mom and I know where you're building your house. I told him, wow, this house is beautiful. Who owns this house? He said, it's one Onyeze. I was like, this is beautiful. He said, let me take you around the house. He took me around the house. I even took pictures and asked him, who puts the stone tiles? He said he's going to give me the contact of the person. I said, okay. We exchanged phone numbers. I took pictures as usual and I left. Few days later, he called me and told me that the person who is fixing the stone tiles is actually around. Mind you, as of that time, I was living in the same estate where this said building that went viral was taking place. I was in the same estate. So it was just a stone throw, like 2 minutes away from where I lived. So the person who was in the compound as of then called me and told me that the person who put the stone tile is in the site. I should come so that we can talk. Let us know the level of where my building was. I went. We spoke. He told me he has to come to the site and see what I have done. We agreed. I also took a picture again. And that picture I took this time was my son that took me the picture. When you go back to the old video, you're going to see my little son standing beside me. It was my first son that actually took that picture. It was just a freestyle picture. I left. Remember, at that point, there was no motive of using the picture. But when my 30th birthday started to approach and I wanted to, shake the internet, now, give them something to talk about, I decided to mix that picture I took in Onyeze's house and my uncompleted building, telling the world that I have completed my house. That was the lie. Now, after my 30th birthday, I enjoyed the trend. Blessing CEO has built the house. Oh, it was trending. People were trending. I got all I wanted. 3 days after the celebration, my friend called me. I said, wait, sing. She said, babe, you dey Insta blow. What's happened? They say, oh, now the house don't come. I say, hey, I was not involved. So that was when the dragging started. I was trying to prove that, yes, I have the house. At that point, it was all cruise for me. I didn't know it was going to turn out the way it turned out. That point, you just want little fire in a certain place. And boom, the fire goes in the way that you cannot control it. That was what happened to Blessing CEO. It was scripted, but I didn't know that. I wanted to go viral, but I didn't know I was going to go viral as I went. So the matter dragged and dragged and dragged, a lot of contradictory stories. Now the most important part. A lot of people said Blessing CEO was handcuffed, she was arrested. No, I was not arrested. I was handcuffed, but I was not arrested. So while the video was going viral, I panicked. I called my mom. I said, Mommy, look at what is going on. They said I stole his building because there were different narratives of the story. Some people said I stole, some said I jumped. They said a whole lot of stuff. My mom said, okay, don't worry. I know the guy. I know Onyeze. Let us go and meet him. I drove to my mom and we went to see Onyeze that morning. I was trying to tell Onyeze that I'm not stealing your building because the narrative they were trying to send was that somebody is trying to steal his building. So this was me telling him, no, sir, it was all freestyle and all cruise. He told me, no problem. Go to the house and do something good. I don't like the way that they are dragging me. I told him no problem. I went back to the said house. For those of you who followed the story, I went back to the said house. I made a video that morning and said, okay, Onyeze has his building, I have my building, I did my freestyle and I came back. The internet was still back. They were dragging. So when I finally came back home, I went back home to go and rest. 1 hour later, that same guy who took me around the house, the one I told you guys that knew my mom, called me and told me, Mama, that was what he calls me. My Oga said he wants to do video with you. He's enjoying the way he's going viral. I was like, I'm tired. I just came back from the said building. He said, please, my Oga won't travel. Because I had seen Onyeze initially, I didn't have anything at the back of my mind. This was me walking into the bathroom to have my bath after going there previously. So I said, okay, let me quickly weigh up something. That was where I wore this beautiful dress. I wore these beautiful slippers. I rolled my hair, drove my car to the said building. Now this was me walking into the building to just innocently do a freestyle video for them because he said he enjoyed the way he was going viral according to the guy. So when I went into the building, I saw a plastic chair and I sat on the plastic chair. Before I could blink my eye, I saw some boys come out of the building. They had locked the gates. It was doing me like deja vu. The next thing they said, I said, what did I do? They said, you're speaking English. First of all, the reason why I respected myself was because I didn't want to be raped.
You're not going to kill my image.
This was a compound that I was the only girl in it and with a group of boys with weapons. What did I do? I respected myself and I sat on the ground. That was where you guys saw me.
Raise your face up.
Daddy Bika. So they started making videos of me. Making videos. As of then, Onyeze had not come. They were still making videos of me and enjoying themselves. Who are you? Why am I seeing you? At that point, I was agitated. I was scared because nobody even knew where I was. I just drove. They had collected my phones. So at that point, I was saying, God, these people should not rape me. They should not beat me. That was all I was praying. So they said the Inspector General of Police said they should bring me. I was excited because as of then, I was working with the Nigerian Police Force Pension. Then. So I was like, no problem. And then I was even working in the police headquarters. I was excited because I needed to understand what I did. So I told them, sir, no problem, let's go to the police. And they told me, shut up. So you are bragging. That means you are sleeping with people. That's you are bragging. Because they saw I didn't show fear. Maybe they didn't know I was working with the police. That was why I was comfortable telling them, let's go to the police. Then they took me into the room. By then I had fainted. A lot of you did not know I fainted. I fainted because I was agitated. So when they gave me water and I came back, they brought me back to life. So they now told me that I should give them money. I told them I don't have money. I just celebrated my birthday. They said, how much do I have? I said I can give them 500,000. They asked me to do a transfer. I said, no, I can't do transfer. We should go to the bank. So my intention was that they should take me to the bank. I will escape. So as we were having that conversation, Onyeze was not there. This was his voice. As we were having that conversation, Onyeze drove in with his G-Wagon. And as he drove in, he came down with 2 police gunned officers. When the 2 police officers came out, I ran to them because I worked with the police. Police is my client. I worked with the Nigerian Police Force Pension. I ran to them and told them, sir, this is what had happened. They didn't seem to understand what was going on, so they withdrew. They didn't answer me. Before Onyeze started doing, sit on the ground, you're going to do a live video. Onyeze asked me to do a live video saying that I didn't own the house. I told him from the beginning I had come to meet you. I didn't even know where all this was coming from. He was enjoying himself. Then after the live video, my battery had died. They now started calling different girls. Onyeze was calling different girls and, putting the camera on me. We've caught, like, initially, I'm still handcuffed. They cuffed me. That was where the handcuff came from. So he was saying, we've caught the almighty blessing CEO. Some of the girls will laugh. I didn't know who the girls were, but they looked like they were in the hostel. At that point, I was even exhausted. I was tired. Until they called one particular person. Oni, she's my makeup artist. She was the one that saw me and said, yeah, blessing. She quickly dropped the call and came with her husband. Those were the people that knew who I was. So the husband is actually a personality in the state. So he came, he pleaded with Onyeze. Onyeze said, I'm going to write an undertaking, blah, blah, blah. They enjoyed themselves. After the scenario had happened, I went to my house. Onyeze followed me to my house. They even created a scene that day. So it was when I got to my house, they gave me back my phone. For me to enter into the house and charge my phone, for my phone to come up. In fact, my battery could not even stand. I was hearing boom, 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 boom. This video, the video that I was handcuffed had gone viral. So I only told them, you guys have done your worst. I was at home, people were calling me because I worked with the police. All the police officers were calling me. Who arrested you? Where are you? Which police station? I said I'm in my house. Nobody arrested me. Where did they hang? So a lot of questions were, it was contradictory because everybody knew I worked with the police. So where did they arrest you? Which police arrested you? So that was where the case started. I went back to my house. Onyeze drove back. After a few hours, Onyeze came back with some group of men and said they wanted to make peace. Maybe by then, they had seen public response because some people were saying, why did you handcuff Blessing? What did she do? What did she do? So when people had spoken to Onyeze at that point, that what he did was illegal and was wrong. So he now came back to make peace. For those of you who were following the story, you will see where I and Onyeze were drinking wine, saying I'm forgiving you. At that point, I couldn't even talk because I was still in shock. The scandal was crazy, lots of narrative. So we drank wine, I went back to my house. At that point, I just wanted to relax. My head was going on fire, the internet was on fire, the dragon was not here. So the next day, the police reached out to me and said, what happened? And I narrated my story. They said I should come and write a petition of what exactly happened. First of all, the Nigerian police was interested in the handcuff. Where did you get handcuffed from? And they were also interested in the police officers. Why did you arrest? If you say Blessing stole your house, how come it is not in our record? Because it was not in any police station that anything like that happened. So the commissioner of police wanted to know who were those police officers and who handcuffed me, because they didn't have the right to do that. If you claim that there was a criminal, you bring the criminal to the police station. So that was where the case started. I wrote a petition. They picked up Onyeze. I don't want to go into details. Onyeze apologized. He begged and said he was sorry, that he didn't even know how this escalated to this point. Then the commissioner of police was still interested. I want to know how people got the handcuff. Then they brought the guy who handcuffed me. The guy who handcuffed me is all these bouncers. You know, these bouncers that stay in the door now. So I don't know where he got handcuffed from. Even when they brought the guy who handcuffed me, by then he has cooled off 3 days in the police station. So by then he was begging. He said he picked the handcuff on the ground. I was even surprised because I actually thought that they were, actually police officers. He denied the handcuff. So, it was a whole lot of story and I was shocked. Then, the commissioner of police said, I'm interested in the police officers who actually were in the picture, because Onyeze came with some police officers. It was when the investigation started that we realized that Onyeze just went down the road and picked up 2 police officers. I don't know what the lie that he gave to them or what he told them. They came. So they even said, let me not even go into that so that I don't think you can say. No, but the fact that they just picked 2 said police officers from the road, gave them one baladash story, and they came to the scenario. So I think they just used the police officers to clout, because even when the police officers were brought, they didn't even know or have an idea of what happened. They said when they got into the scene, they were even lost. So after the scenario, the police took up the case, went to lock up Onyeze. It was a whole lot of criminal case. The police was able to tell him that what he did was criminal. You didn't have the right to handcuff anybody. You didn't have the right to call police. If you felt somebody, they asked Onyeze, did she change the document of your house? No. Did she carry the house on the head? No. So why did you say she stole your house? She just went into an open site and took picture, which somebody gave her permission. She did not break into the gates. So they laid down the criminal offenses that he did. But at that point, I took the blame. I took the blame because I told myself, Okoro Blessing Nkiruka, if you did not walk into Onyeze's compound to take those pictures, you wouldn't have been humiliated. I took all the blame. I went back to the commissioner of police and I pleaded. I said I want to die this case. All I just wanted was justice, and I've gotten that. He has apologized. I didn't even know that he was going to apologize. So the police asked me what I wanted. I told them I want us to go back to the said building for him to reverse everything he said. Yes, he agreed. We went back to the said building and he reversed everything he said. That was where Onyeze was saying, let everything is now good. Everything should be good, if you guys remember that video. And the other guy who handcuffed me was now saying, Blessing CEO is a good girl. That was me telling them we're going to go back to that house and redo that video. So when we did that, the police asked me to write an undertaking saying that I'm the one that wants to resolve the case, so that tomorrow I will not come and say I wrote an undertaking and gave it to the police and told them I want to end the case. Right? If I didn't go to Onyeze's house to take those pictures, trust me, I wouldn't have been humiliated. And that was how the case went down. I came back online, I apologized to my fans for lying, and I picked up the pieces of my life and I vowed that same everything I claimed, I'm going to have it. So the inspiration to this house was the Onyeze story. The inspiration to this property was the Onyeze story. That was the drive. That was the passion. Because this said house, I've been building it for 4 years. One stone, one block. I've been picking stones. But after the Onyeze drama, they threw me more stones. So there was excess stones. So it took me another 2 years to be able to have this. Why am I telling you this story? This is for every beautiful young girl or young person who looks up to me. I want to tell you something. Everything you desire, you can get. Everything you claim, you can have. Why I am sharing this story. In as much as you have a past or you have made a mistake, it doesn't mean you can't evolve. Even people don't even believe that I can build a house. That's to show you that a lot of people are so small-minded. There is nothing, absolutely nothing you set your mind to get that you cannot get. So this is me, your favorite motivational speaker, inspiring you and telling you to work hard, that everything you desire, you can get. And remember, this house belongs to Blessing CEO, built from scratch with my money, with my sweat, with my blood. No man, no baby daddy, no husband, no pension money, fully built with my full chest. If you want to do your investigation, don't work with rumor. I built it from the scratch. Those that saw me from year to year, how I struggled, even the person that roofed my house, Which Tech, he could actually be smiling right now and say, wow, if I even roofed this house, I paid in installments. It was 200,000, 100,000, 300,000, 500,000. My mom said you can do it. So if anybody want to do research, you can go and do research and even see how this money went gradually until I was able to achieve this. Even myself, it shocked me. Don't forget, success is success. Anytime you are